This is part 10 of modeling the Cutaway Rock and Roll Club, and we are almost done. I think I'm going to pretty much wrap it up very, very soon. I'm not going to model every little thing. I've done enough clocks. I'm not going to do this little moose head or whatever it is. And I'll see about the materials for this. The main aspect was to do the modeling, and as you can see, I've gone ahead and I've modeled a drum set. All right, very simple. We did the microphone last time. I modeled a simple. I'll show you a little bit about how I did that, because I've done another drum set with, I think, more detail. Not much, but some more when I did my Monopoly game. And also I'll link to that video if you want to see how I did a drum set. I'll show you very little bit about this. And you'll also see these empties, which allow me to scale and move and rotate some of these. So I've put empties for some of these. I select all the parts. Here, I'll show you. Let's say I wanted to do this bench. All right, so I'm going to select the table, Shift S, cursor to select it. Just to bring my 3D cursor there, I'm going to go Shift A, come down to empty, and then say arrows. And I'll just pull that up. I can scale that. It's just sort of axes, essentially. Say I wanted that there. Okay, and then what you do is you take all the pieces that you want connected. You select them holding Shift, and then you Shift click that. These baby monitors, because of all the wireless stuff going on in here. And then you go Control P, set parent to the object, which is the empty. And now if I just select the empty itself, the axes, I can move the whole thing, or I can scale. I mean, I've got everything. I don't think I've got this back piece there. All right, so that let's get rid of that. All right, so that's what I've done. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'll finish up by doing the flags and these, and then I think I'll do a clay render. I'll show you it in sort of 3D, which is what we're excited to see. At least I'm excited to see. And then I'll think about whether or not I want to do all the texturing. I've got, oh, I forgot about these cups and stuff on the tables. I've had a lot of requests, and you know, some of them are beyond my skill level. And I also have some other projects that I want to work on. The main thing I'm interested in here is the bar region. Really all the cool stuff. The bar region, the bench region, and the music region. That's really all there is of a major importance. And so I want to see that in 3D. I've also moved a couple of these picture frames over to the side. All right. So basically what I did for the drums is I'll just go Shift C. Move my 3D cursor right back there. All I did was Shift A, mesh, cylinder, let's say, maybe 24 vertices with nothing on the ends. I'll scale that in the Z, and I'll rotate X90, and I'm just going to scale it down. This is going to be my bass drum. All right, so I got that. And let's see, let's give it some more width, like that. And I hit E and Alt S, push in, let's say, to give it some thickness like that. Select it all and Control N to flip polys. And then we'll do the ends. So 2 edge loops, and scale that in the Y. Like that, maybe. And in face selection, select that edge and that edge. E Alt S, I'm going to pull down to pull that out, and hold Shift, bring it back in a little. Just adjust, you know, you get that kind of thing. Oh, jeez. All right, and we're going to go into, we're going to add a subdivision surface. So let's just go ahead and do that. And And we'll do a smooth. Let's see if about 1 looks like that. So we need some edge loops. And so I'll just drag in an edge loop here and here on here. And never putting them too tight. There and there. We could have a look at that. I still see a little bit, so I'm gonna drag another one and another one. Notice I'm not going right to the ends. The inside's not that important because I'll put something else in. I'll do a couple down there in there, so you get a sense. Okay, so we've got that, and then what I could do is I could Shift Alt and click one of these circles, Shift D and P to break it out. So I got that. I'm going to turn off the subdivision surface and go into edit mode, select it, E and S, come in to maybe about there. I'll select it and flip the polys. I'll give it a bit of thickness with solidify like that, and that would be the front skin there. You know, whether or not you had to do a back skin is up to you, really. All right, so that's the basics of the kick drum, and then we need to do these little things going around. Let's get in, focus on that. Okay, these things, and so for that, what I did, select it again, period key. Is I'll make a plane and scale it. I'm going to bring it up like that. Scale that in the X quite small, and in the Y, so it sort of fits under there. Scale in the X. We give it a bit of thickness, and then I think what I would do is I would take these. Let's make it a bit narrower. Now let's not. I'll take those edges and I'm just going to Control B, just pull them down, bevel them like that. These are N-gons, doesn't really matter, but I'll get rid of those. Let's push this down like that. Maybe I'll scale it in the Z just a little bit, and the X, I guess. So that still catches a little bit of light, you know, from the beveling and from such a distance. So that should be right on the top. Now let's take this and make sure that everything's all centered. Like that. Take that. And let's look at it and go, yeah, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to look from the front in wireframe so I can see it. And I'm going to edit mode, select it, and in the tools menu choose spin. Let's go for 360. Am I typing right now? 360. Now, if it goes like all weird, okay, let's back out of it. And we may have a problem because we got rid of those N-gons. Let's try it again. Yep. Okay, so check this out. So I didn't do this anyhow. Let's just isolate this. And I don't know why this happens, but if I Shift Alt and click there, I have to cap it again and do it again. And let's go Alt H, bring everything back again. Look from the front, in wireframe with it selected. So I'll hit spin. There they are. You can, at that point, you can change. I can go out of wireframe, whatever. You can change how many you want. Okay. So if I want 12 or 13 or whatever, let's say I wanted 13. Select them all, W, remove doubles, and Control N, very important. Flip the polys, and you can see I've got them around. All right, so that's basically how I would do that, but you have to make sure that you don't have one on the side when you want to do the little stand part here. All right, and all I did for that was I just, you know, brought in like a cube. And by the way, if you really wanted to, you could go back in. Let's just leave that there. Back into these, you know, and you can get rid of those faces if you want them now that you've already done the spin. You won't see that anyhow. Okay. So for this, I just scaled it nice and small, brought it in to the position I wanted. Let's say that was the middle position and I wanted it there. And I got the shape I wanted. think I put on a small bevel just to catch a little bit of light, whatever it is. And then let's say I select this bottom face and bring the cursor there. All right, 3D cursor there, and then curve path. I just found it a quick, easy way to do a cylinder that I can change. Rotate Y 90, and I'll go in and I'll just scale this down. Okay, and you can get rid of some points if you don't need that many vertices, maybe. And brought that into position, and then went over to the curves, chose full, and just start bringing up the bevel a little bit. And you could get like a post that sticks down to the ground, and you could very quickly grab this. Okay, I need it longer into the ground, that kind of thing. I considered, you know, different shapes to this thing, maybe going down and coming out, but that's basically what I did. Okay, and then you know, just get the thickness that works for your drum kit. And then I said, okay, now that I've got that, it's time to make the toms. So I would select that and Shift D, copy it up like that. Let's rotate X 90. And then I think I just said I'm just going to scale it globally, not worry about the rim thickness and all, and just get it into position. In this kind of a way, and then you can do the same thing. You can come in and you can grab one of these edges, Shift D and P. You get that edge, just probably don't need the subdivision surface on it. Go into edit mode, and for that you can just hit F to make a face, and you probably don't even need to give it any thickness. Just pull it to where you feel you need it. You know, and very quickly you could have your toms, and then you could take, depending on how you want to connect these, you could take this. If there wasn't enough room on the side, I could do it on this side, so I'll Shift D. Let's try to take this over here. Let's say it was going to connect there, but obviously this is in the way, so I could rotate that a little bit. Can I rotate Y nicely? Yeah, that'd work. So I'd have some room here, and then I could take just that piece, pull it out. This one's sticking out a bit much, but you know, you just do stuff like that. Okay, so that's basically how I built up the drum kit to the point where I had it like this. And you know, these cymbals don't necessarily look right. Like, you know, where's my hi-hat? Where's my crash? What are these doing? But I was kind of following this with two cymbals, and I didn't want to make a stand like that. I just decided I would use the microphone stand because really it's so small and no one's gonna care. So yeah. So okay. So now what I'm going to do to finish this up, and then we'll look in 3D, and then I will decide if I do want to do textures. I might just want to do like a clay render, and leave it at having modeled this cool stuff. We'll see. Okay, I hope you're not disappointed by that. I don't think anybody really will, but I'm going to put my cursor there. I'm Shift A, mesh circle. I'm going to go for I don't know, 22. It's probably too much, but now you might think to yourself, well, it's not too much in low poly, but I don't really feel like doing the low poly look, although I don't know. I just don't know. So let's get that guy going there. And what am I doing now? So making it like a wheel, kind of like a hubcap kind of thing. Why is that doing that? I don't know why that does that. I'm gonna go E and S. I keep saying don't I? E and S to give myself another level there. Let's just come out with that. Let's just extrude that like this. And then in face selection, I'm going to grab these ones and I'm going to extrude them a bit more. So I got like a lower level in there. Let's Shift Alt and click there and Control L and put the material on. So, you know, you can see it is low poly. I think I am going to make it higher poly. And then you got that piece there. So, that's not going well. Let's Shift H that. I might Shift D S. Where do I want this? Maybe I'll look from the side in wireframe. And if I want this piece to be out at the level of that, I could turn on snapping to edge. Make sure the rotation thing is off. Pull it out and snap it to there. In fact, and then if I'm going to turn off for a minute. This is the circle, right? It's not filled. Okay, I better fill it a bit. E and S. I'm going to do that. And then I'll take that edge. I'm going to extrude back a little bit, but with it still selected, I'll turn on a snap to edge. Look from the side in wireframe. Let's say I wanted to go back to this level. I don't know. Maybe. I'm going to flip everything. And I will put subdivision surface on. And we'll try just one, and then we'll throw in edge loops. So I just put them here, put them there. Just sharpen it up as much as you decide you want. Well, it's now not going to look too much like the diagram because it'll be smoother edges so far, you see. You may or may not like. I'll put one there and there. Not sure about that one. You know, this kind of thing. Put one out here. You know, maybe that's good enough to illustrate this. Okay, and make sure you select that and set origin geometry and cursor selected because we're going to spin. Okay, and turn off snapping. So they got these little circular things there. I want to try something a little bit different. Not much different, but I'm going to bring in a plane. Scale it down. And up. Let's scale this in the Y. Extrude like this and scale. Grab that face. And let me scale that in the X. Push it in. I just want to do something different. And let's scale this in the Y a little bit. Okay, fine. Let's Control A, rotation and scale. I may have this whole thing backwards relative to the wall. No, I don't. All right. Let's take this and this and Shift H again. Okay. And this, I'll just give it the same material. But this one, I was thinking I would just bevel. Okay. Like that. And then I also thought I would just rotate around this edge just a little bit. I don't know if that'll be a cool effect or not. Okay, so now with the 3D cursor there, let's look from like that. Let's see. And that origin 3D cursor, let's go in and we'll try to spin 360, but let's lower the number of these. Let's say 5, select them, W, remove doubles and Control N to flip polys. And that's what I end up with. Let's bring everything back. Okay, and I'm going to take this and this, and I'm going to scale this into Y, and bring it into the window, to the wall. Still may be too thick, I think, for this, so scale it in the Y. And scale it globally. Okay, and that's what I'm going to go for, so I'm going to select those and look from there and just position these. Shift D, and bring one down. Shift D, and there's another one over here somewhere, a little bit. Like, a little bit like that anyhow. Okay, you can mess around with the positioning if you really want to. Okay, so I would have those. So you could do some kind of thing like that if you so desired. And I think the last thing I'm going to model, because I don't feel like doing everything here, is just to show you how I could do the flags. I'm going to come out roughly like the stage, like that, and then the flag things. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to bring in a plane, and in vertex selection, I'm going to go Alt-M, merge the points at center, so I've got just one point. Hit E to extrude, I'm going to come out a ways. E to extrude, I'm going to come back to the other end of the wall, just like that. I'm going to select that point, and I'm going to go Control-Shift-B to bevel, and I'm going to pull and put in just a couple of those, so I get that. Okay, and I'm going to go Alt-C, and I'm going to convert it to a curve, and that's all I need right there. Okay, now that I'm going to call my flag curve. Doesn't matter, just a name so I can find it. Okay, put my 3D cursor right there, so I'm going to go Shift-A, Mesh, Plane, Rotate X90, Scale. I might move it down a little ways so I can get to it a bit more. Scale it. Take these points, scale in the X. And I think the way I'll do this is very simply, let's come out, give it a little bit of thickness. Like that. And set the origin of geometry on that. I'm just going to put it a line and just sort of line it up with the curve as best I can. And I'm just going to give it a bevel like that. Make sure I applied rotation and scale. I'm going to put on the same material for now. And bring that back here. Okay. So let's try. First of all, we're going to array this. Okay, so I got a bevel on there. I'm going to go array in the X, and I bring up the count and put some space between. Okay, I can do whatever. Okay, and then I'm also going to add a modifier curve, and I'm going to select. Where's my curve? I can't see it. That flag curve. Okay, and then I'm going to move this along. Da, 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 da. And just get the right number of flags here so that they're not in the wall. Like that. And, you know, so they end up being 3D and, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, and so what I think I'm going to do is just, I'm going to bring in a sun. Okay, so I'm having trouble getting my sun. Where is my sun? Is that my sun? You are my sunshine. Okay, let's Let's move it that way, or rotate. Let's put it over here somewhere. I'm gonna make this 0.3, and I'll make it 3, and leave it as white for now. And I'm also gonna bring in a Hemi. I know it's not supported in cycles, but I really like it. All right, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that's the right place for any of these things or strengths, but if you just kind of zoom in and I just do a Shift Z, let a preview render, we'll start to finally see this thing in 3D. Okay, I'm not crazy about the flag shadows, but that's the way it is. So let's say we just wanted to focus on the music area or something like that. Just a quick preview render again. So, you know, I'll do some renders like this with a camera, and I think I'm going to leave it at that instead of doing all these cartoon colors. I've done that in a lot of my other Cutaway videos, and the main thing I wanted to do, of course, was the modeling, like I said. So let's say, and I'm not necessarily going for that isometric kind of view. I just want to look from the bar. I get a bit of the bar, some benches, and some music stuff. And let's say you're there for a show. And the band's up there. How does that look? I'm not seeing the flags, just the shadows. You see a bit of the bar, that stuff. Some music gear, some amps. That's looking a little bit too short to me. But, you know, the mic stands go up and down, so it's not necessarily at its maximum length. Yeah, I want to kind of be in the room. Let's say I was going from around there. I'm going to try this. I'm going to set this at, well, I got it set at 75 right now. Sampling, I'll put it to 250. Denoising is on. So I am going to render there with that light. Unless I want to bump this up to 1.5. I'm using all white right now, and the sun to 3.5, and just experiment with that. So I'm going to go ahead and render, and I'll come back and I'll show you. All right, here's how this render turned out, and I'm not saying that this is the best lighting to use. I do like the harsh shadows that the Hemi gives, even in cycles, and I do like the clay render look for this. I think what I'll do for you is I'll provide a link to the blend file. If you want to change any of this or do some renders of close-up things or have a look at the amp, change the scale of things or try a different stand on here, whatever you want. Let's see if we can find that and view it a little bit larger. Okay, so there it is. I'm not crazy about that, but that's one way you could do that. And you know, you go around, make sure things are on the wall properly. But so yeah, I'll do a couple of renders from maybe close up on the stage and just show you those. I'll provide you the blend file, and we'll leave it at that. All right. So once again, sorry if I didn't do materials, but like I say, I've done floors and stuff like that in some of my other Cutaway videos. This is all very, as a vector image, it's not very shiny. It's all like sort of just diffuse colors, so it's not all that interesting to do. Okay, so I'll be back. I'll show you a couple of renders and we'll wrap it up.